wives at home. I'm going to thank our administration, our superintendent, Ron Gress, our director of secondary education, Sean Jackson, our principal, Kristen Woodford, and our new athletic director for all the support, the success that we have, in the school, on the field, in our community would be possible without those individuals. Getting to our football team, our numbers are up. We're up to 72 kids, 9 through 12. We're going to have a freshman team alliance this year. We haven't had a freshman team in a long time, so we're really excited about that. Overall, we're excited for our 2022 season. Last year we were young. We played about 8 sophomores and a handful of freshmen from game to game, and we were headed league, so we took our lumps. The good news is we had a lot of guys back. So offensively, we returned 9 guys, including our junior quarterback, Brandon Zerbrugg, who threw for over 1,800 yards and 70% completion. We're really excited about him because he was running some fantastic track times, finished 5th in the state with the 300-meter hurdles. So we're excited to see what he can do, not just throwing the ball, but also running the ball a little bit. Obviously, we have a running back, Katie Davis, so we had a 3-year starter. He just recently been to Youngstown State. Last year, about 1,220 yards and close to 20 touchdowns. He kind of threw it all back. We have all 4 of our wide receivers back, including Ramir Hawkins and Kayvon Davis, who were both honorable mention all-UBC guys. And then we have 3 returning offensive linemen, Carter Lewis, Ian Moss, and Kevin Frazier. And then we have a young sophomore that we're really excited about, a 6'5", 300-pound kid named Jason Lewis, who's Carter's brother. So we're going to put those 2 guys next to each other and hope they can beat some people up for us. Defensively, we return 6. We're really excited about our secondary. We had a young secondary last year. They really grew into strength for us. They're led by our all-UBC kid, Aki Jones. They were joined by Carter McGarrett, Xerion Williamson, and Keandre Clendon. We have a young linebacker. We have a junior and sophomore, but they're very fast, very aggressive. Carter Fast, Adam Zumbar, and Jackson Eddy. And our defensive line is going to be anchored by a young man named Lucius Rouser, who our kids call Bull because he just charges through everybody. Special teams, I know his kid Brendan Zerbrugg because he's also our kicker punter. He was actually an all-national Ohio kid last year, returning at 40 yards average of punter. So that's on college visits. I always point out the punters at college practice. If you ever retire the quarterback stuff. Outlook, if we stay healthy, I like the chance to be a very competitive team. I'm going to say that you're going to get a bunch of noise of the coaches too. Health is the name of the game. Week 1, we opened up with a very tough opponent in Lake. We're going to break in Carroll Stadium there at Mount Union, and we're going to put the test right away with Coach George's squad coming down. I look forward to competing against the rest of these coaches up here because, Stark County coaches, there's no better coach teams than what we have in this county. So we're looking forward to it again. Thank you for your time. Hopefully that's a far love for the rest of you coaches. Go Eagles.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck, and we'll be bothering you this year from the sidelines as well as the radio station, and to all the coaches. Y'all know that. We move along now to Canton South, the Wildcats, coached by Matt Dennison in his 2nd year. Coach, it's all yours.
Again, I want to echo what Tim said. I want to thank the WHBC for putting on such a great event. This is my 2nd year, and a lot of these coaches are going to be thanking their wives, and their wives are out here. My wife just sent me a picture from Florida and said, when you've been in 20 years, your wife goes to Florida during She's a wise woman. This is my 2nd year at Canton South. We've got a lot of great things going at Canton South. We got great administration. 2 administrators are here, our superintendent, Brett Yeagley, and our assistant principal, Amy Harms. Again, they've set the bar. We're setting new standards at Canton South, and we're getting better. There's a lot of exciting things happening there. Going into our 2nd year, we're real excited about this football team. We were able to go 7-3 last year, making the playoffs. We had a great offseason commitment. Our kids now come into this season knowing our standards and having high expectations. We're looking forward to getting into a new league this year. We're entering the PAC, which means we have 9 new opponents, which is going to be fun. Our non-league opponents, we opened up with St. Clairsville and then faced Columbus Eastmore, so we really beefed up our non-league, and we're going to find out real quick how good we are. Again, we bring back also 17 returning lettermen. We bring back a lot of starters up front. On both sides of the ball will be much improved because those guys are back. We also bring back quarterback who for 3,000 yards with Poochie Snyder, and we have a lot of skill guys to surround him. We lost a couple of good receivers, but we've got some kids that have really filled in well. Defensively, we bring back the majority of our defense. We bring back our 2 leading tacklers, which will be good to center our defense around. Like Coach said, we will be a competitive team this year where we've got a lot of high expectations. We've set some high standards for our kids to live up to. And again, we're looking for a great season this year. Appreciate you guys having us tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Good luck. We're going to bring up our next coach, and for everybody here, the last coach to win a state championship in Stark County a few years ago. He's in his 9th year as the head coach at Central Catholic with the Crusaders, Jeff Lindesmith.
Thanks, Kenny. A few things like people have already mentioned. Thanks to Haralambos for the opportunity to gather together. When it gets here, that means we're going to be off and running here quickly. Mentioned my wife, Carla, back there going on her 37th high school season, right? 34 is with me as a partner. The first 3, I was throwing out the vibes at the time, and she was coming around. So I don't understand what I'm saying, right? Oh, yeah. And we got married. We're going to be celebrating our 34th year this year together. So, Carla, thank you very much. And thank you, Coach Dennison. She wants to go to Florida next year during 2 days. But as for the Crusaders, we're shooting up around 50 guys right now, which is a great number for us. We returned 19 lettermen. We have 14 seniors on our team. We have 4 special captains that were mentioned and named by our team. First guy would be Jack Talkington. He's a returning quarterback, linebacker for us, about 6'2.5", 220 pounds. Was last year's WHBC quarterback first team. He's a Division I linebacker also. So everybody that wants to talk about Central usually mentions Jack first. And he's talk about challenges we all have as coaches. And probably the biggest challenge we have is when can we get him off the field? He's as good as linebacker as I've coached in a long, long time, and as good as quarterback as you want. So the opportunity and to get him off the field is going to be a challenge for us. We got to keep him healthy, just like all the other players. But it's been a great year for us. Alex Anderson, returning tailback. Mike Backer for us, and named captain for us. Also, Tommy Butler is one of our 3rd captains, defensive linebacker, outside backer, guard for us. And probably the glue to our team is TJ Perkins, another captain for us. He's only about 5'9", about 220, but one of those kids that we have to take off the field during practice, even when we're in shorts and helmets, because his motor goes about 120 miles an hour. But we have some nice kids back. We have a great group to work with. Probably the biggest challenge we have every year is our schedule, and we battle it every week, which makes it fun for us, but our health is always very, very important. We play some great teams. We picked up a few. We do some traveling. We only have 4 home games this year. We're 6 on the road, but I've learned this a long time ago at Central. There's no sure wins on our schedule, but there's no sure losses. And we'll go out and battle all the time. Last thing I want to make sure to all these coaches up here, always remember what you do for those kids. And we all want to win, right? We all are competitive, but you guys make such a difference in these kids' lives, and you deserve a thank you many times you can give them because you do that. So guys, good luck.
Thanks, Jeff. And I think I speak for myself and my partner, JT, to use a football term. 34 years with Carla, you definitely outkicked your coverage there, okay? All right, let's move along to our next coach here. In his 7th year at East Canton, but he's coached many years in Stark County. You know him as Spider. His real name, if you don't know, is John Miller. Let's bring him up here right now. Good to have him back this year.
Well, Chucker, I got to be ready. You and Carla, 39 years for me, 43 years together with football, and then you add college and high school, that's 51 years, so pretty good, huh? I'm a very lucky man, very lucky man.
This has nothing to do with East Canton football, but I got time. I remember when Dave Gable and I, and we were at this function, Dave coached at McKinley, the late Dave Gable, and we were at this function for the Booster Club, the BAA, and I was 25, I leaned over to Dave and said, man, these are a lot of old people here. They're older than you. And he's, Dave, who was beep, you spider. So I come here and it's like, the same people are here. But you look great. Look, we have 31 kids from 9th grade up. So, that's the big concern, which a lot of coaches do, keeping people healthy. We have 13 lettermen. We do have 8 starters back on offense and 7 back on defense. But most of those kids go both ways. So it is what it is, like a lot of smaller schools. When somebody gets banged up, it's not just grab somebody and put in. It's like switching people around a little bit and do what you got to do. But that's okay. That's not an excuse because our kids will come to play, they'll come to fight, and they'll give you everything they have. Will we win every game? I don't know. But I know one thing, the effort's going to be there because that's the only thing we demand is great effort. And it doesn't take any talent whatsoever to give that effort. And if you can do that and add some of your football knowledge, you're going to be pretty good on and off the field. And that's the big thing. We're trying to teach these kids life lessons, how to deal with adversity, how to deal with character integrity. If you can do that, and I said it today, we as coaches wear a lot of different hats. I mean, it's not just coach, go home. You're getting texts from kids, phone calls from kids, but that's what we love to do. Somebody asked, when are you going to retire? I said, I'm not ready to retire. I love doing what I do. I love teaching my 6 classes more than most of you, and I love coaching football, and I love going to school. When that time's over, then it's over. But I won't say what I was saying. Hey, it almost was over. But anyhow, it's not. Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Spider. We move along now to a coach who last year had a heck of a year, set a school record with 9 wins, Pac-7 co-champs, first league championship since 1979, and they're looking to improve on that this year. Last year's WHBC Stark County Coach of the Year from Fairless, AJ Sarbaugh in his 5th year.
Before I get started, I'd like to thank St. Haralambos. This is an awesome event. This is why Stark County is special. You look around here and see all these people from all these schools. This doesn't happen everywhere, so thank you for sponsoring this event. I'd like to thank our linebackers table, Jim Gill, our president. Our support since he took over has been unbelievable. We were lucky to get a couple people here, and now we've got 2 tables filled tonight. That's just awesome. I'd like to thank my coaching staff. The past 3 years, we haven't had any coaching changes, and that's a huge reason we've had success. I'd like to thank our administration. I'm really fortunate. We've got Chad Merritt now as our principal, who coached football, Nate Held, who coached football as our AD, and Mike Kern, who's going to be superintendent, deputy superintendent right now, but he is all in about Fairless football. I'd like to thank my family, my mom and dad, they don't miss. My dad just retired teaching, 37 and a half years. And he's still going to coach football. My father-in-law's here. I'd also like to thank my wife, Megan. I don't know how she does it. We just had our 6-month-old in February. I leave at 6 for football. We start at 8. She's a cheer coach. They start at 8. And I just come up during our break, and she's got both kids trying to run practice as they're running around. So thank you for everything you do, Megan. I couldn't do what I do without you. I do have a couple other thank yous. We redid our track at Fairless, and this is why Stark County is so special. We couldn't get on our turf. So me and my superintendent put a couple feelers out, and Scott Garcia said, come on down. No problem, no charge, no nothing. We got the bus, drove to Gulling for 3 days, and he let us in. They were great to us. Thank you, Scott. Mr. Salvino heard about it. He called me on the phone, got my number, and said, you can come over to Massillon immediately. We had already had Glen Oak booked, but thank you guys for reaching out and helping Fairless. Coach Morrow, it is awesome to have you back in Stark County. I got 2 stories about Coach Morrow. Number 1, I'm like 3 years old. My dad's coaching Glen Oak for Fred Thomas, and they're down in New Philly, and Glen Oak loses. So when you lose to your coach's kid, you do not get to go on the field. So my dad apparently gives my mom the stop sign, like, not tonight, Jimmy. Phil comes over, says, Jeff, I'll take him. Go on over in the New Philly locker room. So I got to go home with Quaker a winner. Dad went home and Eagle and a loser for a play. My second story, I'm in 8th grade, and for career shadow day, I always wanted to teach and coach. Couldn't do Coach Hurler, couldn't do anyone at Hoover. So I got sent to Jackson. I shadowed Coach Morrow for the day. Coach Yingling, if you remember, I got to watch dodgeball, kickball, stickball. We watched a little film as an 8th grader, but I was a polar bear for a day, and I always remember that. So you've been a role model with me, Coach Morrow. Nobody does it better than you. Great to have you back in Stark County. Thank you for everything that you do. Last one, Jay Rohr, congratulations. Stark County guy, Jackson guy, Stark County MVP. Me and TJ Downey talked about this. I know you're going to bring a ton of tradition back to Jackson, but please don't bring back those white jerseys with those gold numbers that nobody can see. I still remember being a 10-year-old in Coach Hoover's office. All the coaches are complaining. We can't see numbers. No one knows who's there. So please don't bring those jerseys back. Anything else is good. But those uniforms, my God, couldn't see anything. Coach Hurler had a few choice words if you guys know him. Our offseason was really good. We've got the highest numbers we've ever had at varsity. Our middle school's over 30 for the first time in 4 years. We're really excited. We've got 9 guys back both ways. We've got an outstanding senior class, 13 young men, which is the most we've ever had. We've got 5 great captains, Dom Emer, 3-year starter, Xavier Collier, 3-year starter, Tom Fox, 3-year starter. They're all on the line. And then we've got 2 really good wideouts, Brody Palmio, who took 2nd at the state track meet, and Luke Yoder, who took 6th. We had a scrimmage with Indian Valley. We did really well. We stayed healthy, but our schedule's a bear. We open up at Sandy Valley, who Coach Campbell does an outstanding job. Then we got to go to Northwest and play Coach DeMarco, go to CBCA. Canton South is down the league. They're going to be really good. Manchester, tough law with Coach Gulling. So we've got our work cut out for us. We're really excited. We're trying to build off last year. We're getting a new school. If you guys drive by Fairless, Ohio, it's going to be unbelievable, football-only locker room. So a lot of really, really good things are going on down there. Lastly, good luck to all the coaches. I'd like to thank everyone up here. Like I said, I don't ever want to leave Stark County. I've been here my whole life. Went to Hoover, Mountain, now Fairless, and the support and the relationships of these men is unbelievable. I look up to all of them. And last year we had the season that we had. I think every coach reached out to me in some shape or form and congratulated me. And I can't tell you how much that meant to me. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for all your support for Stark County football. Go Falcons, go, and have a great night.
Good luck, Coach. We move along, and Glen Oak, this will be his 14th year. He took a couple years off, then he came back last year. So 2nd year back after a little bit of a retirement or hiatus or whatever you want to call it. So let's bring up here from the Glen Oak Gold Eagles, Scott Garcia.
All right, so I just want to thank everybody, just like everybody else has. The men's club here, this is a great event every year, and there's nothing like Stark County football, and to kick it off like this every year is awesome. To our kickoff club table over here, we have our kickoff club president, Rhiannon Dick, who's done an unbelievable job. Chad Sinkovich, just one of the cool things about coming back is some of our former players are involved in the program. Chad is a member of our booster club. We have a couple coaches that played for us, so that's been really cool as we come back. Our superintendent, Brett May, we've been together a long time, and the support he gives is second to none. And best superintendent around, and I appreciate him and his friendship. Mike Maddox has moved from our principal. He got a new job, and he's going to be our business manager. And so replacing Mike is Gail Kimbrough. He's going to be our new principal.
can see we have a better looking principal than we had with Mike the last 6 years. So, we're gonna welcome her, break her in. And, then we have Pam Maddox, Mike's wife is our athletic secretary. And, while I'm coaching football, she kind of holds down the fort, so thank you to Pam for all she does. And then last, my wife Crystal, it's gonna be our 30th anniversary. So I was feeling kind of old, after Spider and Trucker, so I'm good. Next Monday's gonna be our 30th anniversary. It's actually, this event usually happens a little bit later, so I always use this as our anniversary dinner. So I have to think of something different this year. So getting on to us. So last year was kind of people talk about a rebuilding year, and really it was a blow up the program year. And we had to learn how to work again, learn how to play Gulling football the way Gulling football is meant to be played. We had a lot of growing pains along the way. Our first game last year, we had a kid come up and he said, "When's the 2-minute warning?" Okay, we don't have one of those. We're playing McKinley. We want to take a knee before halftime. There's about 5 seconds left to run the clock out. And not only does our quarterback take a knee, our right guard took a knee. Whoa. We had to kick ass what the pylons are. We scored our first touchdown, and they acted like they won the Super Bowl. And me, I'm pissed, right? Everybody's going crazy. I go, act like you've been there before. And this kid kind of gave me a friendly reminder, "Coach, we ain't never been here before." So we got all that flushed out, and kind of went back to work. And we did some football 101 in the off season. Spent a lot of time in the weight room, and we started out. We had 5 kids in our 1,000-pound club, which is bench, squat, and deadlift. And right now we're up to 34, and that's a huge improvement from last year. That's been probably one of the things that's lacked over the last few years, but our kids really committed, and we had a great off season. We had a great summer. Went to a lot of camps. Went down to Ohio State. Went to Canton. Went to Pitt. Went down to Ashland. So we had a busy summer, and we got better as we went. We're not close to where we want to be yet, but we're better. Our senior class is a small one, and we lost some guys along the way, which that's fine. But the kids that have bought into the program are tough kids, and they've been a great job leading so far. Guys from Roman Bay, Hunter Curlow, Don Leone, Noah Williams, Jaden Gorham, Isaiah Shackelford, Josh Coleman. Those guys have been senior leaders for us. Our entire offensive line is back. And we kind of threw them to the wolves last year, a bunch of sophomores, and they're a great group. We have Tommy Dick, Ashton Wolfowitz, mentioned Roman Bay, Romeo Manuel, and Tony French. All those guys played as sophomores last year. Took some lumps, and they got better. They got better in the offseason. Our backfield, we're loaded at the tailback position. I went to a clinic one time over in Chicago, and it happened. Bo Jackson was there, so I had to go listen to Bo Jackson, and he told this story, about he played for Pat Dye down at Auburn, and Pat Dye was always saying, "Hey, there's no I in team. There's no I in team." He kept repeating it, and Bo finally stood up and said, "But there's an I in win. If you get I in the ball, we're gonna win, right?" So that's what it's all about with our tailbacks. Devontae Burke, he's back. At 800 yards, Codas Davis, Jamar Johnson, Rico Andrews are all 4 guys that are going to get carries for us. We have a young sophomore that's going to be probably as talented as we've ever had. Actually, Devontae's little brother, Adrian Burke. Excuse me. He's had a great summer learning the offense. Dynamic player. We have a couple other young quarterbacks, Cole Anderson and Clay Harvey. Been really solid all summer, so we're really happy with our quarterback progress. So we're going to be better. Like I said, we're not where we want to be yet, but it's going to be better. And kids have worked hard. We're excited. We're excited to get going. So just want to thank everybody again, and wish everybody the best of luck. Stay healthy. Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. Ireland.
Thanks, Coach, and best of luck this season. Good to have you back again. We move along now to a team last year, won the Federal League outright, had an outstanding year, finished 9-3, a nice, solid season into the playoffs. He's coming back for his 8th year now as the head coach of the Hoover Vikings, Brian Baum.
Thank you. It's a great event, you know, and thank Haralambos, Men's Club, for having us here, putting this on each every year. You know, I've done 8 years, and they're not joking. I do see the same faces here, and once I see these faces and we do this event, you know, the season's here now. You know, we scrimmage them all over the lines, so we're getting a little bit better there. But I do want to thank all of you for, one, supporting Stark County football, making it special with events like this. And, you know, the support that you give your teams on Friday nights, it makes it a great environment to not only want to play in, but to coach, and it's a lot of fun. Especially, you know, Federal League and EBC, all these teams up here, it is a lot of fun to coach in this county. Thank you to our superintendent, Jeff Lindorf, our principal, Eric Bornstein, our AD, Tom Oates, you know, outstanding support at North Canton Hoover, just keeps growing, getting better there with the things they're trying to get accomplished. Our building directors, or special project manager, Tim Walker, doing a really good job. So you see a lot of new buildings, a lot of things pop up here. Real exciting time up there. Shout out to Ron Phelps. Good to see him. He's representing our Sideliners Club, doing an outstanding job, not only for football, but for all aspects of Hoover, athletes and students there. We do appreciate that. So thank you, Ron. My wife, somebody mentioned that earlier. Hey, we cannot do what we do without our support system at home. My wife Bethany's at home right now with my 3 boys. PT, Blaine, and Barron. I don't get all the time I want with those guys because we're always doing our things. But she does an outstanding job of incorporating them, getting them over there to see dad and players and things like that. And I really do appreciate those times that I can have with my football boys and my own sons out there as well. And it leads to special relationships. And, you know, I'm starting to see that as I grow older and stuff with my boys out there. It's been a lot of fun there. You know, that's last year was. I always say it was a lot of fun last year, but it was special to the fact that we overcame adversity each and every week. We didn't blow people out. We just found ways to get it done, and our guys worked hard. And each and every week they found that way, got better, and that's what we have to do this year. You know, we have the theme is stay healthy and grow. And we had 31 seniors that left last year. And we're in the 20s this year for seniors again. I have an outstanding sophomore class with size in there. Some junior class is talented, just not a lot of numbers. We have a big freshman class with over 40, 8th grade class is near 50, and the youth programs are full of numbers. So we're starting to see the numbers there. That's really exciting. You know, being at the top tier, getting us a chance to get those guys out there. Not seeing that big kid in the hallway that we missed out on, or the kid that's playing just basketball. Getting those guys in and being part of Hoover football, and that could lead to wins down the road. We're starting to see that pay out here. This year, we talk about that health and that growth. We have 3 captains that are real important to us. I do want to mention them. Luke Roach at running back, a 1,500-yard back last year, returns. He has a new offensive line for him, other than returning starter, Captain Brad Formatic, big kid, 6'3", 295. He's able to move some people and help us out there. And our other captain is linebacker, fullback, H-back, Luke Wallow. His brother Adam Wallow is a double-time 1,000-yard back. So every once in a while I slip in Adam. It is Luke Wallow. It's a real nice job for us. Returning starter. And those 3 captains, you know, they are our leaders. They're setting it up there. They're adding to their efforts, their family, each and every day. So I'm going to take time to mention those 3. They're important for our program. So the rest of our seniors, you know, we got to continue to grow. You know, we're not young. We got a lot of new faces out there. So we set some of these seniors away this past season. So as they continue to grow each and every week, it puts a lot of emphasis on those one-class scrimmage, those non-conference games to continue to get better, continue to dig down and learn that position inside and out to give us a chance there to compete in Federal League when we do get there. And like I said, if we can stay healthy, I hope to compete each and every week. And like I said, we continue to grow, you know, come out there in the Federal League in each and every game, we'll come on top of those battles because as we know, it is tough. We always say right now, it's the truth. So good luck to all these gentlemen up here. It's a lot of fun, and I like getting to know these guys. Opportunities like this are great. So thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck this season. We move along. This is the first of 3 first-year head coaches I'll introduce tonight. And He's an alum to where he's going to be the head coach. Stark County MVP back in the day, a legend back in the day. I believe the jersey is retired. So Jay Rohr is the new head coach for the Jackson Polar Bears. Let's bring him up and welcome him.
First and foremost, I too would like to say thank you to St. Haralambos. This is tremendous thing that these guys put together. I need to thank our administration this year, our superintendent, Superintendent Julian Mason, our new athletic director, Mr. Jeff Crocker, and the entire supporting cast over here. Really, you guys have touched on it. In regards to your program and teams, I'm very blessed right now. 9 through 12, we have 148 kids out for football. With that being said, we have 64 out for 8th grade football alone, and then our youth numbers are through the roof, with well over 100, 110 in 6th and 7th, 110 in 4th and 5th, and all the way down to our youth. So it's really a tribute to our administration, our school, our community, and so forth, and their commitment to our football program. The other thing is, you guys touched on it, and AJ talked about our uniforms and traditions and those sort of things. Something I've been blessed with just now coming into my first year is our administration team taking the initiative, realizing our turf was getting old, and asking what we should put in the middle of the field, and we discussed it, and we went back to our old school polar head, something that is near and dear to my heart, that Tomorrow was a huge part of, but it's bringing those things back, and again, getting new turf, new goalposts, and right now we have a new locker room under construction, so it's a tremendous blessing to have our administrative team and our school board behind the football program. In regards to the large number that I said, 105 of those kids are 10 through 12 on our varsity roster. And we do 42 of them. I've never been a part of a number like this, but 42 of them are seniors, which is a tremendous number. But I also understand it only takes 11 to play. So although numbers are sometimes great, 11 guys got to be able to perform on a football field. But I have 5 seniors, very similar to Mr. Linda Smith, 5 seniors that were nominated by all players, 9 through 12, with all those that were committed into our weight room, starting January 4th all the way through the summer, that we incorporated our freshmen into the lift this year. So all 5 seniors that were voted captain were nominated our players 9 through 12. Starting with our 3-year returning letterman, Ben Kozoffel. He's near and dear to my heart. I'm a big supporter of multi-sport athletes, huge supporter. And he ended up tearing his ACL and MCL and a cross. But the blessing is he will, as crazy as his dad is, who's also here, he'll be back. There's no doubt. But he was one. Ethan Lesko, he's in a quarterback battle. I know that's a big question that everyone's asked. Who's going to play quarterback this year after losing a 3-year starter? Ethan Lesko, our senior, is in a quarterback battle with our junior and Joe Larulo. But he was nominated captain. He was a 2-way player a year ago. Jaden Mauser was nominated captain. Again, talking about old school philosophies and old school mentalities. He'll be a guy that you'll see on both sides of the ball this year. Colton Arnold, again, he's an anchor for us, certainly on the offensive line. But he also will be, again, on the defensive line this year. And then the last one is our running back and secondary player, Jason Davide, who is again, a tremendous player. So, again, all 5 guys being nominated. When you come into your first year, Tim Budd, the previous head coach, did a tremendous job in instilling a culture of physicality. And when I first came back to Jackson, we had an agreement in regards to that's the type of team that we need to be. That's the team that we are gonna be. And that's exactly the same mentality that I'm instilling in our players. We're gonna be a physical football team. We're gonna be very disciplined. And our motto is "We Not Me." And that's the difficult thing, that these guys are raised with the way social media is and everything else, and that about me. And I believe the closer you are as a football team, the more successful you're going to be. And when you have that mentality, that family mentality, that you're going to back each other up, you're going to be wanting to fight for one another. That's going to lead to wins. So with that mentality, with the new coaches that I was able to bring in and the coaching staff that I had, it's back. They've done a tremendous job up to this point in time, and we're looking forward to getting the season going and finishing this scrimmage this coming Friday. So just like anybody else, thank you, coaches. Best of luck this year. I also will have to finish with last, which is my most important, is my wife as well. I do have 4 kids at home. I have twins that are 10 now, a daughter, Avery, that's 6, and a 3-year-old son. So again, being away from them, just like these gentlemen here, there's nothing better than having a wife that is being able to take care of your kids, so you can do something that you love to do. I am blessed that they are ball boys this year. So again, best of luck, coaches. Good luck in the season, and go Bears.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck. I'm looking down at this, and Deandre Church is next from Lake. Is this year number 10 for you there? The longest tenured coach on this list. Scotty Garcia took a couple of years off. All right, there you are, Scott. And so we subtract those years. So in his 10th year with the Lake Blue Streaks, let's bring up here to the podium head coach Deandre Church.
Thanks for making me feel old there, Kenny. I appreciate that. I also would like to thank the men's club. This is a great event every year. It's just nice for all the coaches to get together, first and foremost. And with that being said, best of luck to all you guys. Appreciate what you do and how you do it. A lot of excellent high school football coaches up here, but more importantly, a lot of great men. So your sons and our sons and our kids are lucky to play for wherever you're at. Also want to thank my administration at Lake, our superintendent, Kevin Tobin, down through our athletic administration, my assistant coaches. I'm blessed to have a great staff, guys that have been with me for a long time. Also want to say thank you to my wife, not quite as blessed as some of these guys to be up in the 30 years, but we're going to be celebrating our 25th. And she's also a kindergarten teacher. And quick story, so today I'm leaving 2 days. And football's hard. I mean, it's hard to be a football wife. It really is. I mean, we're gone all the time. I also have 4 kids, so didn't do the same thing. My wife does pretty much everything at home during the season. So it's about 3 o'clock and I'm driving home, and it was a long day. We had a really good day of practice, like long and hot. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna stop at her school because she was setting up her kindergarten classroom today. I'm gonna stop and help her, right? Which I typically don't have the opportunity to do. I have like a 45-minute window before I need to go pick up something else for football. So I walk in her classroom and she's surprised, she's happy I'm there for about 2 minutes, right? So she asked me how practice was. I tell her a little bit about it. I said, what do you want me to do? And she says, well, why don't you hang up this border on this bulletin board for me, right? So literally 45 seconds into it, I think I hung it a little bit crooked. And she said, honey, just go home and watch film of practice today and then go to your meeting. And I gave her a kiss and told her I love her because I'm lucky, right? But it is hard. But again, pleasure to be here, a true honor to be the head coach at Lake, and blessed to be in a great school district, great community. My wife and I both teach here, all 4 of our kids. 2 of our oldest twins graduated. I have a daughter that's going to be a senior there and a son that's going to be in 8th grade. So it's a great place to raise a family, which is the most important thing. We're excited about our team this year. Not quite as excited as all the press we've been getting because we don't deserve that yet at all. We haven't done anything. We were very young last year, and that showed a lot on the field. I had a great offseason, great buy-in, had more kids in the weight room than we've ever had before, and they really bought into it. We have a lot of multi-sport kids, which I think is important as well. Really good numbers for us. We're at 78 kids, sophomore through seniors, 39 freshmen, 40-some 8th graders. So that's really good numbers. And I'm really excited to see, not just in Lake and Jackson, these other places, that football's back and it's coming back and the numbers are going in the right direction. whatever the reason, that's important. We all know the lessons and the values that can be taken from this game and how important they are. You carry those with you forever. We have 8 returning starters back on offense, 4 of our 5 starting offensive linemen coming back, putting a lot of responsibility on them. It starts up front, particularly in our schedule in our league. You got to be able to play good up front on both sides of the ball. So excited about that. Still have a long way to go. Our 4 captains that were chosen and voted on by our kids, great football players, but more importantly, excellent leaders. Ty Miller, Matthew Solberger, Styles Dietz, and Jack Fuller. I think we have 22 returning lettermen coming back. Again, we played a lot of sophomores and juniors last year. So there's some kids with some really good game experience. But now we have to take it to the next level. In our schedule, we scrimmage Hudson tomorrow night, and I'm honestly hoping that they come in and they beat us up, because we need that. Our kids need that to get us prepared for the type of schedule we play, opening with Alliance and then playing your Federal League team. So it is a tough battle being in our league and playing football in Stark County. A couple other coaches mentioned it, though. It's the best place to be for high school football. Not just the games on Friday nights, but the head coaches and also the assistant coaches. All of us are blessed with great assistant coaches, because you're only as good as the people that are working for you. So we're all blessed. But very excited about the season. Again, best of luck to all you guys up here, and go Blue Streaks.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck to the Blue Streaks this year. We'll see you on the sidelines. We move along now to our next coach, entering his 3rd year as the head coach of the Louisville Leopards. Let's bring up Troy Davis.
All right, thanks for having us here tonight. This is a great event. If I can say Haralambos correctly, I'd say thank you for saying Haralambos. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or not. Phonetic spelling. Anyhow, heard all these guys talking about things that I'll share a story about myself. So being from Louisville, football is very important in Louisville. I think it's important here. There's a lot of tradition in Louisville. I'm a former Leopard, but first when I met my wife, the first time I showed up at the front door, her dad knew that a football player was coming to the door. He opens the door and says, "Welcome, son." So that's the way it is at Louisville. 4 or 5 years later, I know that I'm one of the coaches. I'm in my 26th year now. I go to the house and ask mom and dad, if I could marry the daughter. I knew, like these guys talking about football coach's wife, what she's getting into. And mom, she didn't want her daughter to leave home that early, right to college. And she's like, she's really messy. I'll take you back to her room. I'll show you how dirty it is. And I'm like, messy. She's gonna get coach's wife. I'll take that deal. And so, it's been a great 26 years with her. She's done a great job. We're at the point now in our relationship where my son is a sophomore football player now. So, I'm babysitting now. And he's with me every day, which is really strange. Really strange. Because you treat these kids as your sons. And she'll come home and she'll be like, "Well, how tight do you?" And I'll be like, "Oh, guys." He's just like, "Oh, that's I will. He did this, he did that, he did this wrong, and that kind of thing." So, but it is nice to have son there. It's an interesting thing. So for Louisville, we came out last year. It was a tough year for us. We rattled off 8 losses in a row, and talk about a gut check. That was soul searching. Not just for me, but for my family and for our guys. Our theme last year was built different. I was so proud of our guys because they got into week 9 and they figured out how to turn it around. And a big part of that was, the fact that we have 18 returning starters. We had a lot of guys last year that was first time started next football game. And so they figured out how to turn around, got those last 2 wins, which is like stopping the roll and block. And they were able to do that. They took that into offseason. We had a great offseason. We had a great weight room, our best weight room that I've been involved with. I've been in this for a long time. Great offseason weight room for us. We did a lot of new interesting things. Coaches worked very hard in offseason. Players worked very hard. And we are glad that 2 days are ending right now because we're ready to turn the page and move forward. Like I said, we have 15 seniors this year, 18 returning starters. We got a great football team, great group of kids, great hard-working
Church at
kids.
the Amish door.
They're fun to be around every day. Just some of those return stars like Chase Wheeler, caught the winning touchdown pass in the last game last year. Brandon Jackson, Davion Cruz, and Captain for us at quarterback. Our offensive line returns 4 offensive linemen from last year: Caden McKinney, Trevor Escher, Nate Cook, and Jacob Shambo. We lost our tailback in our scrimmage last year. Andrew Essex, as a matter of fact, we went through 3 tailbacks last year. That's part of the story of our season. Okay? Andrew Essex comes back after injury. We're excited to have him back. On the defensive side, we got Charlie Roberts. He's going to be he's a captain for us, and he's on the defensive side. Does a fantastic job and really coordinates that entire defense. Jacob Davide, I heard the Davide name already here once. We're glad we got one of the Davides at Louisville. He's our guy with the long hair. We call him Short Palomalo and that kind of thing. He plays like that. He flies all over the field. Coaches very good linebackers in Louisville, and he is right up there with them. He's also captain. Charlie's captain, and Andrew Essex, tailback's captain. Connor Morley's going to play defensive line for us. Clay Chambers is safety, and we got Shane Gates, our bearded guy. He's got a big beard, defensive line.
Bearded wonder.
Defensive line plays nose for us. We're excited for this season. We open up Steubenville. We're an independent football team, so we have a lot of federal schools on our schedule. We picked up, we have Poland again this year. We picked up Northwest. We finished up Notre Dame and Lindsay, West Virginia, coming to our place this year. This group of seniors, I know that their motto is strictly business. We talked about that at the beginning of the season. It is not personal on the field. They're all about business. So critiquing them, pushing them, they're excited. They're ready to go for it, to turn things around at Louisville. Okay? So we're excited about that. Also, thank you to these coaches. In today's world, like we talked about, a lot of me. The job that a coach does every day to make sure that it's a lot of we. And that's great for our society. I appreciate it. These guys are a great group of people to be around. Good luck to all of them, and go Leopards.
Again, thanks, Coach. Good luck. We move along to a coach here. It may be his first year at this school, but it's not his first head coaching job. And some of these coaches have already talked about him, but he does take over the job at Marlington. So let's bring up the Duke's new head coach, Phil Morrow.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't first start out by thanking the Marlington administration for giving me the opportunity to return to Stark County. All these guys told you how great Stark County football is. Well, take it from somebody that's been in a lot of different counties. It is the best football in Ohio, without a doubt. And it's so good to be back in Stark County. I forgot how much I missed it. And it's because of events like this tonight. Appreciate the men's club for putting us on. And it's truly a blessing. Just to be a football coach. Aside from being a dad, it's definitely my most cherished moniker that I have. And it's going to be my 45th season coaching. And have the same enthusiasm as I did in 1977 in North Ohio as a coach at Roosevelt Junior High. So I'm blessed to be able to be up here and awfully thankful. A little bit before I talk about Marlington, I know to talk about the coaches here, but for our veteran coaches, you guys are my heroes, man. I'm telling you, what you guys do and how you treat kids and the lives you've impacted, awesome. And then all the young guns that I call up here, because I coached against most of you, and I know that Stark County football is in great shape by seeing these young coaches that are up here. I know the kind of young men they are and the job they're going to do, and they're going to carry on the great tradition of Stark County football. And so from that standpoint, it's great to be here tonight. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my wife. No disrespect to everybody's wife, but she's been a coach's wife for 41 years, and she still comes out and gives the guys popsicles after 2 days. And I tell my guys, I see that girl over there. If she doesn't go to heaven, forget it. There's no heaven. I'm going to tell you that right now. And the amount of places that she's moved with me and stood by my side, my wife Mary, she's truly a blessing. So I really appreciate her. A little bit about Marlington. I've been there since March. I was lucky enough that the administration brought me a little bit early. And again, I do want to mention our new superintendent, Deandre Church. He's going to do a great job as our superintendent. And Nick Evnich has moved up into the number 2 role. So both those guys are doing a great job leadership-wise. Steve Miller, great AD, ex-Stark County football coach. So again, just like all these guys, blessed to have great administration. Just starting to learn a little bit about the guys. Obviously I wasn't there last year. Graduated a bunch of seniors. I know they were senior late in last year, but progressing well. We have 63 kids out right now, which we're proud of our numbers. We recruited the hallways pretty hard in the spring. Did well, and got some guys out that haven't played. So we're going to be pretty junior dominant. We'll be a junior class, but have a very challenging schedule. Obviously, Alliance is going to be one of the better teams in our league. The EBC is going to be very challenging. And then our Line League, we're going to play it off a good Northwest team. We'll play Youngstown Cheney. We'll play Warren JFK, which is a playoff team. So we're excited about our non-league schedule. But like I said, still find out about our guys. CDCA last week, progressing well, playing hard.
Coach said that 9 out of 19. We get 9.
That's all we can ask coaches. But again, proud to be here tonight. All proud to be back at Stark County. I've been on Christian congregation, but it is without a doubt. I've been on Sheriff now in Stark County, but I've been in a few counties in Ohio and down in Stark County. So thanks so much for having me tonight. And guys, best of luck. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
9 divided by 90. That's 10 minutes a guy. That's really not that much.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. Welcome back. Good to have you back in Stark County. We move along. Before I introduce our next coach, I was just looking at our WHBC 1480 radio schedule. We will have his team on the 19th of this month in our first Friday night game, as they will be hosting Cincinnati Moeller for their first game. An 11-win season, another deep run into the playoffs last year for the Massillon Tigers, and we bring up their 8th-year head coach, Nate Moore.
I would make it a shout out.
Thanks, Kenny. Thank you to St. Haralambos for hosting the event. I want to thank our Massillon Tiger Football Booster Club. Many of them are here tonight, especially Harry Haynes, our president. Our Massillon Board of Education, I see Ron Purvis is here tonight. Appreciate that. And our Massillon City School District administrative team, represented tonight by our principal, Mr. David Launschlager, and our superintendent, Paul Salvino. Appreciate all the support and your attendance tonight. But most of all, I'd like to also thank my beautiful wife, sitting over here in a black dress. I want to thank her for all the support over the past 18 seasons. I know it's not as big a number as some of these other guys, but 18 seasons we've been together, and she's been supporting me, roaming the sidelines. She gives wonderful support and often great advice. In fact, when we were driving here tonight, she gave me some advice. We're actually out, this is a true story, we're on 77. But she kind of offended me, to be honest, with this advice. Yeah. She said you shouldn't tell one of those opening speech jokes tonight. So I don't think it's a good idea. I said, Becca, I like telling jokes. She said, no, don't worry about being funny, just be yourself tonight. It's a true story. True story. The Tigers have a very aggressive schedule this year. We'll be on the road twice. First against our Stark County rival, Canton Glen Oak, which is a game we look forward to every year. And we're also renewing a rivalry game against Mansfield Senior. Mansfield Senior is the 4th most game played in Massillon history. We're going to be at Mansfield Senior Week 3, Arlen Field. Look forward to that. We've played them 52 times in our history, but haven't played since 2005. So I think everybody's going to be excited about that. I think both communities are going to be excited, looking forward to that game, and we are. We also have a stellar home schedule. put together this year. Like Kenny mentioned, thanks for stealing my thunder. All right, we open up at home, week 1 against Cincinnati Moeller. We're really excited about that game. And we also have home games against Warren Harding, Lakewood St. Edward, Austintown Fish, Middletown from Delaware. I know nobody's familiar with them. They won the big school state title out there in Delaware. They're the best team in that state. Canisius out of Buffalo, New York. It's our 3rd time playing them. And of course, our week 10 game against our arch rival, the Canton Bulldogs. Most of the success we've had over the past 5 years is due to our assistant coaches. There's no doubt about that. We've had tremendous continuity. We have a tremendous staff. We have co-coordinators on both sides of the ball, which I think is fairly unique. And we've had the same 4 guys in those positions over the past 4 years, which is, it's hard to even fathom that, to be honest. Jared Trotz is our quarterback coach. John Mays is our offensive line coach. And those guys together manage our offense, do an absolutely tremendous job. On the defensive side of the ball, Craig McConnell and Spencer Leno manage our defense. Coach McConnell coaches our outside backers. Coach Leno coaches our inside backers. And all 4 of those guys, tremendous coaches, tremendous men. And that's been a huge part of our success. A huge part of success. I said that on the radio shows just a minute ago. But as good as our staff is, we got better this offseason, our staff. We got better. We were able to add 3 outstanding coaches that are also former Tigers, which is, that's always a plus to bring some guys home. Really excited about all 3 of them. The first one is Madison Tiger class of 2010, Joey Stewart. Joey's the son of legendary strength coach Steve Stewart, and he's coming home to be our middle school dean of students, which we're really excited about. He's going to be working with Coach McConnell and our outside linebackers. The second addition is one of the best, if not the best, to play the position at Madison. It's former Tiger running back class of 1991, Travis McGuire. Travis, we connected really about a year ago, maybe a year and a month ago, and he was home visiting and wanted to talk. We talked, just talked ball, talked about how the Tigers were doing, and he goes back home, calls me like a week later and says, "Coach, I want to come home. I want to coach football. I want to get back to the Tigers." I said, "Well, Travis, come on home, let's go." And he was an ass, and probably 2 weeks later, we got him coaching on a freshman team, did a tremendous job, and was an absolute no-brainer going into this year to make Travis a running backs coach. So he's doing a phenomenal job, and it was a no-brainer to get him coaching up on the varsity staff. And the third coach we were able to bring on is a former college football and NFL offensive coordinator, class of 1973, Alex Wood. Alex Wood, really kind of a silver story, very, very selfless guy. Here's a guy who's done everything there is to do coaching football. 35 years coaching college football. It's like 5, 6, 7 years in the NFL. Was a quarterback coach for the Vikings with Dante Culpepper, and offensive coordinator for Denny Green with the Cardinals. And he calls me, it was about January, at the beginning of this year. So we're about January. He calls me, says his last college job was in Delaware. And you guys know how college stuff does. We had coach gets fired, everybody's fired. And he calls me, he says, "Coach," we talk a couple times a year. He says, "Coach, head coach got fired. We're all fired. I'm getting older. I don't know if the recruiting stuff is still what I want to do. If one of my NFL buddies calls me, I'll probably do that. But if not, I just want to come home and run your scout team for you." I said, "Alex, First of all, I hope one of your NFL buddies calls you. That sounds that would be phenomenal. But if you come home, you're not running the scout team. We'll find something else for you to do. But that's the kind of guy he is, you know. And Alex has been phenomenal. He's been a great addition to the staff. He's basically an offensive assistant coach, looks at things globally for us, spent some time with the receivers, with the running backs, with the quarterbacks. And there's three AA pluses. And like I said, I mean, the reason we've been good, you know, we've had some great players, don't get me wrong. But our assistant coaches are phenomenal. And we got better this offseason. So this is strange. I'm going into year 8 as a head coach of Madison, which is at my second St. Haralambos talk. I didn't think that I was going to be here 6 years later, but here I am. It's year 8, and I keep expecting the culture of our team to either take a dip or level off, because
the whole show out here, right? Yeah, so it's 4 hours.
Once you get past year 4, maybe 5 or 6, and like this is basically all the kids know. I don't really have a reason for why we keep getting better. It seems like there should be a natural dip, there should be a leveling off. And I thought, you know, last year as a team, talent-wise, not our most talented Madison Tiger team. I think most people that know the Tigers know that. But those guys were phenomenal as far as doing the things that we asked them to do in team culture. They're really, really good. And I remember going through the preseason last year thinking the same thing. Like, gosh, I thought, we had some sporty guys when we started off like everybody else, and thought like maybe this is the year, like, you know, we did it, we're leveling off, and we did it. I thought last offseason was as good as an offseason we had, and to be honest, I expect the same thing this offseason, and if it hasn't happened, these guys raised the bar again, which is it's hard to understand what they've done. I thought this was the best retreat that we've had. Our retreat is the most important thing that we do. We take 3 days in late July. We don't stay overnight anymore, but we keep here till 9 o'clock, and we really get into the nuts and bolts of who we are and what it means to be a Tiger and all those things. And it was the best retreat that we've had, and I didn't expect that. I think across the board, I think this is the best leadership group that we've had. Once again, I didn't really expect that. These guys keep raising the bar. And yeah, one thing that's really seems to be special about this group is you can see them trying to make an effort to get things right by themselves, like trying to become a player-led team. That's when things get really, really special. Really, really special. Some teams have to be coach-led. That's just who they are. That's their DNA. But when it gets really, really special, it's a player-led team. And you can kind of see these guys feeling that out and trying to make some strides with that. We returned 7 guys who started games for us on the offensive side of the ball, and 6 from the defensive side of the ball, 2 specialists, and 25 lettermen, which is a good number. It's a good amount. But we're still kind of young also, which is a strange combination. We've been through one scrimmage. It went okay, really, to be honest. So I think with this group, the question is what's going to happen when the rubber hits the road. Week 1, we line up with Moeller. What's going to happen when the rubber hits the road? And I don't have the answer to that question, really. We got both those scrimmage coming up on Friday night, and we have to take the next step, and that's just what has to happen. What has to happen. Yeah. Once the same always come to town, whether we like it or not, it's gonna be here. We have to be ready. We have to be ready to defend the name of the great city of Massillon. But to be honest, it's also important for our coaches and our kids to represent Stark County football in this game. We've got probably 2/3 of our coaches play in Massillon. Probably 2/3 of our coaches play in Massillon, but they also play in Stark County. And that's important to them. We want to represent the best coaches and fans in the state of Ohio. We feel that responsibility as well. And we hope to make all Stark County proud and have Vegas more next Friday night. Thank you, Go Tigers.
I know Dana's going to be out there.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. We'll see you next Friday night. Next up, to say that he took over under very interesting times at Canton McKinley is an understatement last year, and the job that he did last year was remarkable. Leading his team to 8 wins, including 2 playoff wins. He's back for his second year as the head coach of the McKinley Bulldogs. Let's bring our next coach up, Antonio Hall.
First, I want to thank my sister church, St. Haralambos, for hosting this event. I'd like to thank my superintendents, Jeff Talbert, Jason Dixon, and Mallory Floyd. I also want to thank my athletic department counterparts, Joe Baldwin and Mike Schott. I want to thank the rock star of the athletic department, our secretary, Lisa Owens. Thank you for both of our booster clubs for being here tonight, the BAA and the Bulldog 100, who do phenomenal jobs for our kids in our program. So thank you very much. I want to thank my tremendous staff, my amazing players, and my colleagues up here. Truly, to be in this fraternity, Stark County coach, it means the world to me. And so thank you guys for embracing me, for supporting me last year. Your words of encouragement, your letters, your calls, it meant a lot. Still means a lot. Thank my tremendous family who supports me immensely, near and far. And thank my beautiful wife, who is my better half and also makes me whole. A little bit about the Bucks. We have 23 lettermen coming back, 14 starters on both sides of the ball. We will play one of the toughest schedules in the state. We go to Mentor to open up, and we go to Fitch. Then we're home against Dublin Kaufman. Then we start the gauntlet of the Federal League, starting with Perry, ending with the backyard brawl against Glen Oak. And then our arch nemesis, those guys out west, the Massillon Tigers. I think our strength this year should be our offense and defensive lines. We have 4 starters coming back on the offensive line. We have 3 coming back on the defensive line, and we have some depth at both positions as well. And we have a tremendous senior class. We have not named captains yet. We will do that next week, but we have some very, very good candidates for that. With that being said, I wish you all the best of luck. I wish you all health, a successful season. Go Bucks.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. We'll see you soon on the sidelines as well. We move along. Another of our first-year head coaches taking over the job with the Minerva Lions. Let's bring up Tim Speakman.
Thank you very much. This is my first time here, obviously, my first year back in Stark County after 30-plus years being in Florida and North Carolina. I'm an alum of Minerva and grew up there and very happy to be back. And I can tell you, one of the things that we're going to try to bring back, and I'll talk about that here in a second, is Minerva's a special place. It's a special place for football. It's been a football town since I was a little kid. I remember growing up wanting to wear that jersey. I have an Minerva jersey, number 40. I want to be Mike Gulling. And that's something we want to try to get these guys back to wanting to wear that jersey again. I want to first thank my administration, Superintendent Gary Chaddock, our principal Andy Mangan, our athletic director Mike Waller, and also our athletic director, Secretary Dee Dee Lotzenheiser. Can't thank them enough for having the trust in me to come back here and instill some things in these young men at Minerva. One of the first things too that I thought was very important when I came back to Minerva is to make sure that I put together a good staff. And I think I've done that. I've been blessed that our administration has backed us and been able to put together a good staff. And one of the first things that I knew I had to do was go back and find some Minerva guys. Some guys that grew up there. And guys that worn those jerseys and understood what Minerva is about in our community. And so I've done that. I've been blessed to get some of those guys on our staff, as well as bringing some other guys that have coached around Stark County as well. When I first got here, and even before I got here, I asked for film. I wanted to see some film to see what I was getting into. And most of you know that Minerva struggled for quite a few years here in football. And that's something I'm not used to growing up there. And again, I've been gone for over 30 years, and I still kept up with Minerva and watching how they do. And always checking on Friday night how they did. And it's unfortunate that they've struggled for as long as they have. But one of the things that I noticed, not just watching film, but also talking to a lot of people within the town as well as our administration is, and then getting back here, and I've been a strength and conditioning guy throughout my career. And when I got in that weight room with our kids for the first time, I found out that's the number one thing that we need to improve. We need to improve our strength and conditioning in the weight room. We're a couple years behind, and we need to catch up. And it's not going to be done overnight, but the thing that I love about these kids, they've bought in. They've really bought in, and they worked hard for us this summer. Second thing that I've really started to find out here in 2 days, especially, and I know some of the coaches can vouch for this, is our football IQ. We got to improve our football IQ. And it amazes me that we have to teach so much about field concept. About how to use a hash mark, how to use the numbers, and the difference of just lining a football in the middle of the field. You got to learn how to play on hash marks and learn how to use some of those landmarks on your field to make you look a little faster than what you really are. Because that's one thing, we're not blessed with a lot of speed. So if we can teach them the field concepts and teach them field awareness and situational football, believe it or not, years ago when I did coach up here, I was blessed enough to coach at Kent State for a little bit and coach up here and up in Kent Roosevelt in Rootstown area. Tom McDaniels was always talking. Going all kinds of different, camps and clinics he went to. And one thing I learned from him is teaching situational football. And I have to teach these kids the difference between third and short and third and long. So more than anything about how you line up. Last thing that I think that we have to improve at Minerva is we have to improve our culture and our mindset. That these kids have to understand that this is not all about football. And if I can give any advice to some of the younger coaches, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I know some of our veterans have been up here as well. This is not all about winning football games. And it is very important for us, especially the way our society is now, that we have to instill in our young men what they're going to be held responsible and accountable for out there in life after they get out of high school. And I've asked our coaches more than anything to understand that we serve a bigger purpose than just going out and winning football games. One of the things that I've told them over and over that I expect from them more than anything I demand from them, when we go out on the football field, and we all know we have to choose some guys out sometimes. I know most of you out here think we're a lot of nurturers, and we're always out there to just tell them, hey, I know you messed up for the 10th time in a row, but I still love you. But the bottom line is we do have to chew them out once in a while. But I've demanded from our coaches that if you do chew them out, that we need to make sure that we put our arm on them before they leave for the day and tell them that we do still love them. Because you never know what that kid's going home to on a daily basis. for the absolutes that I tell our coaches and I tell our kids that we must do every day is we got to teach these kids 4 things that we demand from them. Number one, you better show up on time every single day. And I relate this all to a business and life that's going to be expected of you after you get out of high school. One, you better show up on time every day. Because if you don't show up on time and you're late 3, 4, 5 times, in real life you get fired. Second thing is you have to come to work every day. And you got to come to the weight room every day. You got to come to school every day. You got to come to practice every day. Because in real life, if you don't come to work every day, you get fired. Third thing is, when you come to work, you got to give an honest effort. We can't just go out there and just go through the motions. And we know as football coaches, we have kids that come out there sometimes and just go through the motions. And we've got to make sure that these kids are going out there for a purpose every single day. Because if you go to work in your business, you want it to survive, you have to give an honest effort every day at work. And then last and probably most important thing that I tell our kids is those 4 absolutes is you got to treat everybody with respect. And one of the things that I do on a daily basis when I walk those hallways, I thank our custodians every single day. And that it's the people that are helping that organization, that business, or whatever, from the ground up. You have to thank them on a daily basis because they deserve that. And that's what keeps everything rolling, just like we thank our wives and our children. So we have to understand also as coaches that the homes are different. And this is one thing that I found out coming back to Minerva, being gone for so long. When I grew up there, practice didn't go past 5:30 because you had to be home for dinner. And coaches were not going to allow you to be late for dinner going home. The thing that I found out, and I've asked our Mothers Club, is to feed our kids every single day after practice because some of our kids aren't eating. And we have to make sure that they're eating. So that's part of that big purpose that we have as coaches. Again, we don't know what they're going home to every day. And I found out that Minerva is different than what it was when I grew up in the 70s and 80s. And we've got to do a better job of making sure that we understand that sometimes we're the father figure. And we have to teach them those 4 absolutes. And we've got to teach them that they're going to be held accountable for some of those things later in life. Looking forward, to seeing our kids grow at Minerva and become better young men is more important to me than them becoming better football players. And if they do that, I feel that we as a coaching staff, administration, and as people have done our job. And, I'd like to come up here and talk a lot about our football team as a group and individuals, but we're looking at them as a team, as a group. And I feel blessed about all the work they've put in. And I want to make sure that I tell all these coaches and everybody out there that all these coaches out here, all the time they put in, day in and day out, it is not just about football. This is about raising young men to be men and to make sure that they are held accountable later in life and to become great people and successful in society today. Thank you very much.
Really?
Thanks, Coach. Well said. Best of luck this season. We move along now to our next coach. He's no stranger to this event, coaching elsewhere, but right now entering his 3rd year as the head coach at Northwest. And by the way, just so everybody knows, one of the new things we're going to be doing this year at WHBC with our radio games is we're going to be grading the concession stands, food, and the press box food. So we will have rankings on that throughout the week on the Kenny and JT show and throughout the year. And right now, Northwest, with what they fed us whenever we go there, Coach, they have set the bar way up here. So spread the word to your concession stands and the press box people who bring the food. They're shooting for Northwest. We bring up John DeMarco.
Well, it's great to be selected preseason number 1, so we thank you for that. It's a real honor here to be head coach in Stark County. This is a special place, as everybody mentioned up here, and you look at an event like this, it's just special. If you look at this table up here to be part of this fraternity, there's not many of these jobs around, so to have the opportunity to be a head coach in Stark County is quite a treat. Also, to be the head coach at Northwest, I'd like to thank our administration for giving me that opportunity. Our administration is represented by our athletic director, Jason Hathaway, tonight, and I'd like to thank him for the opportunity. It's just a privilege, and I never take anything for granted. Some of us have been around for a little while. Every day is just, another blessing to have, to be around young kids and be in charge of a program. We have a great coaching staff. We've been together pretty much for 3 years now. They're a young staff. They work very hard. They're very energetic, and they're just fun to be around. And as some of the coaches will tell you, they keep you young, and it's just a lot of fun. It hasn't gotten old yet. Still enjoy every day. So I just like to thank our administration and Jason for everything he does for me and our program. This year, we got a lot of excitement. Everywhere in Stark County, August, there's just a lot of excitement in every program. Nils lost the game, everybody has high expectations, and it's the same way over Belleville. We're very excited. We got 17 returning linemen. We're going to be led early by the strength of our lines. We returned 3 defensive linemen, Isaac LaFay, Jimmy Cunningham, and Cody Workinger, 3-year starters for us, and they play with a high motor and really get after it. They're going to move over to the offensive line, probably play both ways. We don't have great numbers. Being one of the smaller schools, they'll join Riley Plattner, who's also a 3-year starter, and our center, Travis Barczyk, who kind of got thrown in the mix last year and is back as a 2-year starter for us and has done a really nice job so far. We returned Connor Satterfield as linebacker. We returned a couple of skill kids in Caden Beekler and Carter Jarrett. Played in our secondary and our receivers a little bit, so they got us a little bit of skill from returning, which is also important. Kyler Moraglio returns at tailback for us. He's got a little bit of experience. We got 2 guys battling out for our quarterback right now, our senior Austin Wright and the sophomore Chase Matcher. We're going over to Revere tomorrow. Revere's coming over to our place tomorrow, and we get a little preview, getting ready for the following Friday night. We start over at Norton and have a very competitive schedule like everybody else. Stark County, you play in Stark County, it's competitive. Norton isn't in Stark County, but it's a neighboring district for us, and we're very excited about that. We lost to them last year, so hopefully our kids will be excited. I'd like to wish everybody luck. Number 1, stay healthy and good luck. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this year. I mentioned earlier, our first Friday night game on WHBC on the 19th is Moore at Massillon, but we will start the night before, actually, with a broadcast. On the 18th, it'll be Central Catholic taking on the Perry Panthers. That'll be our first game this year, so we're looking forward to that. And with that in mind, let's bring up the 2nd-year head coach with the Perry Panthers and one of the newest members of the Stark County Football Hall of Fame, Zach Slates.
So do you play
Thanks everybody for coming out. Appreciate everybody. Thanks for staying on with us to host this. And Tyler can attest to this. Peter Michael's fighting to stick with one eye open. Growing up with a Greek mother my whole life, I know he's probably gonna be in trouble when he gets home. It was fun to go over to the WHBC and they're talking to me about technology and moving forward, that kind of stuff. And they got a microphone from 7 or 8 years ago when they did their first broadcast. So that was pretty interesting. But in all seriousness, thanks everybody for coming. I want to thank our administration, our athletic director, Rick Randall, our assistant superintendent, Rich Young, our municipal president, Mike Babb, my parents, my girlfriend Amanda. She actually got thrown in the fire last year. She moved in August 1st. So coaches know what day that is. So it was an interesting day at the Slate's house there. But I'm looking forward to this season. We got some great leaders. We got a great young group of kids, and we have 3 captains this year. We typically vote for the captains on the last game of the season. We announced them at our banquet, and then they're the leaders of the program for the whole offseason. So we have Brandon Flus, who tore his ACL last year, actually, and he's fought his way back. He's done a great job this offseason to get back to where he needs to be. Deandre Church, who's going to be a senior running back for us. He's done an awesome job. Great leader, and he doesn't talk very much, but when he talks, he makes sure everybody hears him. So that's good. And you got to have those guys that are quiet. So when they speak up, it means something different.
And then we have a junior captain this year, Carson Basham,
Let me
played
know.
quarterback for us
Hey,
last
what up,
year,
dude?
and he's a true leader and he's an example for all the younger kids because he played quarterback for us last year, and he's gonna play some quarterback for us this year, but he's also gonna be taking on some
It's
other
underway.
roles. He can play defense, he can play some split out, he can play some running back, so he's gonna be all over the place, and he's taking on without a beat, and he is the biggest fan of our younger quarterback, so he's encouraged him, and he's done a great job, and no, we're not air attack, even though Henry and JT were asking about that. We were 3 touchdown passes in the scrimmage last week, but we are not changing our offense. Don't worry, we're going to win to you guys. So anybody playing us, don't worry. We're not going 5 wide. But I want to thank all you guys for coming out. Appreciate it. Keep it short and sweet. Thanks.
All right, I mentioned we have 3 first-year head coaches this year. There are 5 second-year head coaches. So last year was their first time. We're going to bring out another one of the second-year head coaches from St. Thomas. Troy Burrick is coming up to the podium right now.
I'd like to start by thanking everyone for coming out tonight and supporting this great event. Once again, thanks to St. Haralambos and the Men's Club for hosting this. As a young kid growing up in Stark County, I feel like I know everyone here, from Coach Campbell on down there to Coach Spider Miller down there as my gym teacher in 2nd grade. So it's been, just a little note, we always knew he was the district-wide gym teacher for very local schools back then, and we knew when he was coming in. All the lady teachers were getting excited. We always knew when Coach Miller was coming, so it was a great time. Yeah, that's actually true too. He's a great guy, but thanks to everyone for having us here. What an honor as a boy of Stark County who was born at Altman Hospital, 48 years ago, to be amongst everyone here, to be in this stage is kind of surreal. I'm kind of sitting there looking around like, am I supposed to be here? But I guess so. What a privilege and an honor it is to be here. Of course, thanks to my beautiful wife, Julie, who has, we just got our 20th year anniversary this past year of being married, and all those years I've coached football in some capacity somewhere here local, and as we all know, I couldn't do without her, and without her permission, and she is the mother of 4 wonderful boys. They get all their smarts and discipline from her, and athletic ability especially. So they're very blessed with her, and I can't thank her enough. Something else I do is, they're not here tonight, but I want to thank my parents. My mom and dad are a big part of my life, always have been. So I want to thank them, and I want to thank Julie's mom and dad, Dale and Linda. They support me in everything I've done, and done everything with helping us with. Obviously, we have 4 boys, so we needed help with babysitters and stuff like that as we were working and doing all this. So I'd like to thank all of them. And as I stand up here, I realize that I know almost everyone, not quite everyone, but close to it, or I either played against, worked for, or coached against. And I'd like to start off like recently, before I took the job at St. Thomas, I was with Nate over at Massillon. As I played there and graduated there, I coached all those years, and Nate gave me a great opportunity to work with him for quite a few years, and so I'd like to thank him, the things I've learned from him. And one of the guys that it's kind of funny is Jeff, Coach Linda Smith. When I worked with him in 16 and 17, and we were blessed to go on that state title run, I was on headphones up in the box with him. And so you can imagine some of the conversations we had and some of the things we said. So those we'll keep those to ourselves. We'll talk about them when we retire a little bit, maybe in a book or something. But it was a heck of a good time. And and Coach Morrow down at the end, not everyone knows, but in 1991, he was my quarterback coach at Massillon. And it's amazing to see him back here. And it's an honor to be sitting amongst him. I can remember being a high school athlete and walking up to Coach Morrow's house and sitting in his front yard playing with Kyle and his boys, and just I actually still got some pictures. I'll have to get you some from those days. And so it's pretty amazing. And, Zach and Jay, I got to know Kaz over the years, and Brian Baum, he grew up with my life. So it's kind of amazing how I'm connected to a lot of you guys here. And, I have family members that play in Louisville, and there's some Buricks out there, and, we Coach Garcia, coached in Massillon, and before it was, we're over there now, so I know him from back in the day there. So, and of course, I watched Antonio play for that team over there, and dominated against the Tigers back when I was coaching those days. So he was one heck of a player. There's no doubt about that. And it seems like he's an even better coach. So I really look forward to getting up here and sitting here with my Canton South friends, Coach Dennison. I coached against when I was at Central with Jeff, and he's the staff over here. Chris is one of my really good friends, and just honored to be here. So I thank you very much. To get forward with this opportunity is, when I talk about Spider, I just think back to the times I was a young kid riding a bus. A good friend of mine, Coach Kilpatrick, who has recently passed a few years, he was at Perry, good friends with his son. I got to ride the bus, and Spider and I were talking about it. He's like, "You were that kid?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." 7, 8 years old. So my love of football started from the minute I could walk and breathe and go to the parade and go to the Hall of Fame and all that good stuff. So it's an honor to be here. When I was offered that opportunity to take the job at St. Thomas, obviously I knew there were some issues and some things we had to clean up. But I want to thank the superintendent, our president out there, Dr. Father King. He is new out there, and he's doing a heck of a job for us. My principal, Mr. Tim Neary, and my athletic director, Mr. Nick Stanek, and my enrollment director, who's going to be very important, Ryan Hill. So they do a heck of a job of supporting me on a daily basis and helping me get everything I need. And they're helping us launch some new projects to move St. Thomas forward. We knew it was challenging, but that's okay. I'm not afraid of a challenge. I've been there, I've done that. I've coached at every level at some point. So this was just the next step in progression. And I was happy to take on the challenge. And I frankly, am not bothered by any of the issues. I'm ready just to conquer them. So as I move forward and talk about our team last year, we had a really rough year. They told me there'd be some challenging things. And they're like, "You're not going to have a lot of players." I'm like, "Well, yeah, we're just Division 7. That's pretty common, I'm sure." In my first meeting, 4 kids showed up. I'm like, "Well, that's a lot less than I thought." But I thought you meant 4 seniors or something, but no, it's 4 players. So that I became I used my days as most schools learn how to recruit, and I would go in the hallways and baseball games and basketball games and practices, and talk to our players, our kids within the school that were enrolled at St. Thomas. And I talked to them about the things we want to accomplish as a football team, as a school, and got a bunch of them to come out, a bunch of different athletes. We got to around 20 players. As the season went on, we weren't really prepared. We were super young. Kids were trying football, which we know doesn't really work too well when you try football. You got to commit to football. And so some of those boys, their bodies weren't quite ready. We suffered a lot of injuries. And, by the time we got to week 6 or 7, I had about a dozen healthy kids, which was very challenging. We had to cancel a few of the games, so they're in the middle of schedule. And my number one goal when I talked to our president was we had to keep the Central game alive. The tradition of week 10, playing them. And so we decided that we weren't going to take our kids and get them beat up and not be able to play that game. So I respected that game. We canceled those few games in there, got our kids back to healthy. We were able to finish the season by playing that game, which I thought was super important to our school and to Central. We got through that. We learned a lot of lessons, and now we moved into the off season. And my first priority was to develop a culture of accountability, love, and effort. And I try to love all the kids, teach them that doing the right thing all the time will eventually add up and will lead to what we're looking to gain. So we did that. We had a great weight room, which was, non-existent before I got there. So it's really moving in the right direction. This year, I'm up to about 32 players today at practice. So I'm very happy with that. hope they all stay. You know, that's all, it's football stuff, so some kids, they can't try it anymore. But it went really well, so we're moving there. We have quite a few kids I'm really excited about going forward. We have all my kids, well, here's the beauty. I got everyone back and they're all Letterman because they had to be. So there wasn't much choice in that, so it is. It's every kid lettered last year, which is unique. So that was pretty interesting, but to say the least, I was proud of those kids because they showed a lot of guts and tenacity and wherewithal to stick it out because we were literally getting our butts kicked. And we talked about that in itself being a victory, being something we can be proud of, that we're not quitters. We're not going to make excuses. We're going to show up and play, period, because that's what we signed up to do. So I was very proud of my coaches, very proud of my school, and I was very proud of my players last year. You know, moving forward, I have obviously all those kids back. I got a couple offensive linemen that I'm really big on. Kosei Smith is he's my center. He's a true old school type kid who is, when you think of a high school center, he's that kid, squatty kid, very vocal, tough, you know, grinder. I love that kid. And on the offensive line, I have a gem. His name is Anthony Battle. I call him the world's biggest kid. He is probably 6'6", 345 pounds. Before last year, he had only played basketball. We would jokingly call him, he had ballerina-like feet. You know, he could move and he was a basketball player only, which when I went and talked to him last year, I'm like, Anthony, I've seen some guys with bodies like yours. They're not in the NBA, you know, they're in the NFL. And he's got that type of body and he's got that type of work ethic. He's an incredible student and he's a great representation of our school with his behavior, which is even more impressive. So I look forward to those guys really doing a great job up front. And obviously my other kids up front are all returners because they all played last year. So at our skill positions, we lose one significant player. That was my oldest son, Luke, who is now going to go on to Washington University and play baseball and on an academic scholarship. So I'm super proud of him. But all the other kids are back. And one of our leading guys out there was a first-year football player last year, another basketball kid, Julius Campbell. He was an all-district, all-Ohio type basketball player for St. Thomas last year when we made our run to the Final Eight. He was the best player on the team, one of the better players around. He's 6'5", 195 pounds. Lived in a weight room this spring and this summer, and you know, I get him on the jump machine every day, catching footballs, working on routes and all the intricacies of playing receiver, and his growth and his potential is unlimited. So I'm really excited about him. I have a 3-year returner in Julian Randall. He's a pretty tough kid who's been around the game a lot, got some older brothers, so I expect big things out of him. I have another DB wide receiver named Logan Kinsler. He's a tough kid with great work ethic and incredible competitiveness, so I see big things happen with him. And our quarterback, he has probably the toughest job. He's my son, Owen. So as some of you guys know, that's it's one of the most incredible blessings I've ever had is to be able to coach my sons. And you know, I look forward to big things from him. You know, he learned a lot from his days over at Massey before we transferred over. He was blessed with those guys to really set him up well for success. So looking forward to that. And I thank all of you, and we'll see you around. Thank you.
All right, we're going to bring up our next head coach, well, actually assistant coach. He's pinch hitting for the head coach at Sandy Valley, and he'll tell you why here in a little bit, but it's appropriate. 611 wins as a legendary high school baseball coach, 4-time Hall of Famer, and he gets to coach with both of his sons in baseball and in football. His son Bill at Jackson, Ryan at Sandy Valley. Here's Frank Gamble.
Thank you. I thought one of my buddies in here came down and said, man, a lady back there at the table said, that Sandy Valley job must be tough. I saw that guy last year, he didn't look that old. So no longer my buddy, I won't mention your name. And Troy, By the way, thanks for bringing it up about Spider, because when I was at Perry for 17 years, the athletic director, he was our football coach, and he always kept telling me he was a sex symbol growing up. So, no, if he does not get the mic, he's done. First of all, my son Brian really loves to be here tonight. He has a little daughter, Ayla. She's about, I think she's 15 months old now, but she has COVID and she was pretty sick, and she's getting better now, thank God. But he has to wear a mask until tomorrow, so he felt bad about coming up here and having a mask on. So he was really concerned about having me come up because he knows I like a microphone, and he said, you know, they have the news at 11 o'clock, so cut it off. We would like to thank St. Haralambos and everybody who puts this event on, because I'll tell you, it's a first-class event. Also want to thank Stacy Walker and our Booster Club president, and Garth Evans, our athletic director, for what they do at Sandy Valley. You know, I sleep better at night than a lot of these coaches up here. And by the way, we've got a great bunch of football coaches at Stark County. I mean, I've been at this thing for probably 30 years now, sitting out there and just sitting back and just watching them speak tonight. We're blessed to have this caliber coach. But I sleep better than on Thursday nights. I sleep like a baby, because I was the head coach once of football, and I know what it's like. An assistant coach is a lot easier. And I signed long-term contracts with both my sons, Bill at Jackson as baseball coach, and Brian at football coach at Sandy Valley. And my contract says this: if they fire me, my grandkids get nothing for Christmas. So I'm going to tell you right now, I feel real secure. I hope you guys have a good night sleeping, you know, the first Thursday night. Oh, no, because I'll sleep like a baby. Last year, we went 6-4 at Sandy Valley. And we have something else going that all these coaches, maybe Troy, no, I think even Troy. We have something going to Sandy Valley that none of them have. He said, what are you talking about? You're one of the smaller schools. We have no senioritis on our team. We will never have any senior problems on our team, because we have 42 members on our football team. We have 2 seniors, 2. So when they get together, they play cards. But I'll tell you, we're very young, to say the least, but we're a very talented team. We're a good bunch of sophomores and juniors, and our 2 seniors. My son wrote this down. He wants me to read what I got. I'm not a real good reader. I like just to talk, these notes. But he said, we live in a now, and we're closing that scrapbook. And right now, I really like this team, our whole team as a whole. We do have 6 returning starters on offense and 5 on defense. There's 13 returning lettermen, including our 2 seniors. We're really starting to see our physicality transfer from our strength and conditioning to the field. These guys love being around football, and they're starting to understand that this just isn't a hobby, as mentioned, but it's a lifestyle, a culture that our players and coaches, both past and present, have built together. And I'll tell you what, we talk about our captains. We have 3 junior captains and a senior captain. One of our seniors is a captain. Our junior captains, Andrew Neary, he's an offensive and defensive lineman. Chad Davis is running back and a linebacker. And Nick Picho is our quarterback. He's a junior. He started 8 games last year as a sophomore, and also plays defensive back. And Lucas Stockley is our senior starter at offensive and defensive line. And this team is athletic. They're a lot of fun to coach. And our coaching staff is really a good staff for the size of Sandy Valley. We have another father's son coach on our staff, Fred Thomas. He's a legendary coach. He's been around for a long time. A great man. And his son Ben is on our staff. And I know AJ at Fairwest with his dad. It's a neat thing to be coaching with your son. Both my boys coach for me. Now I have the opportunity to do that. And we get some interesting conversations on Friday night. But remember, keep it in family. It's like keeping it in Vegas, so we don't talk about that. But anyhow, we do have a great coaching staff down there. Overall, we're really excited about this year. Most importantly, our players put a lot of time in the offseason in the weight room. And we're excited to open up next Thursday with Fairless at our place. I know Carlos got a great football team, so it's really a big challenge for us. We picked up a couple of new teams this year on our schedule, Canton South, and we also have Manchester we picked up. So we're really, I know Brian and I are both honored to stand up here among the best high school football coaches in Ohio. And I feel almost every school in Stark County has a lot of talent in that. And there's nothing like Stark County football. Somebody asked me tonight, what do you think of Stark County football? I think it's the best county in the state because Cincinnati's got great teams down there. Columbus has great teams. There are pockets of them. But as a county, I don't think there's a better county in the state of Ohio than Stark County for football. So best of luck to everybody this year and go Cards.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck this season. And Matt Gulling is the next coach we're going to bring up here from Tuslaw, our final coach in his 4th year. And Matt, I'll make you a promise. Next year we'll go in reverse order, okay? You'll get to go first next year at this banquet. So take it over and good luck this year.
We'll be
I know going last, I've been able to rewrite what I want to say about 25 times. That's the bad part. The good part is at this point, nobody's paying attention anymore. I want to thank the men's club for putting this on. It's a great event. Growing up in Stark County, I can remember playing at Louisville and rushing to get to the repository to read what the coaches had to say to try and get, I don't know if I thought I was going to get a scouting report because we always opened up with Hoover week 1 back then. But trying to figure out, and of course, Hoover wasn't saying anything anyway. But he always had the worst team in the world. So I want to thank our administration. New athletic director, Chris Lapish, came over from Waynedale. His last day at Waynedale, they won the state baseball title. And then he's came over with us and has been great for us so far. I want to thank our Sideliners Club and our Booster Club. They do a tremendous amount for us each year. It's hard to get volunteers, especially at a small school. And we're fortunate to have some people that really support our programs. Just like everybody else up here, I want to thank my wife for putting up with everything that we go through. If you don't know, my wife is a deputy with the Stark County Sheriff's Office. So when I come home and complain about our kids or my day, and she just looks at me and is like, you really want to know what I did all day? So she usually wins that battle pretty quick. So, but we just got our 12-year-old daughter's fall softball schedule, travel ball. So anybody that's ever lived the travel softball circuit life, especially in the fall, my wife gets a lot of credit for running through all that stuff. As far as the season goes, we're coming off a rough year, trying to build a program at Tuslaw. We're numbers-wise as a whole school, listening to some of these guys. I think Jay said he has 140 some guys on the team. We only have 130 in the whole school. So finding numbers, our numbers are actually up for only having 130 in the school. We have about 50, 9 through 12 right now. The good and bad of that is we have 13 seniors, which for us is pretty good. And we have 25 freshmen. So we have no middle. So some of those freshmen are growing up real quick playing on the scout team. It's a good freshman group though. But we're excited about the year. Again, it's Stark County football, tough schedule. We actually open up with Canton Valley and Donnie Hurtler week 1. So anybody that knows him, we got to be prepared for anything. So coming up week 1. Then we go to Dalton week 2. So Dalton's been a good football program for a number of years now. And then we start the pack. So it's a brutal schedule. But our kids love to compete. We're going to fight hard. They're going to give us everything we got, and we're looking forward to a great year. Some of the kids we got back, Tommy Snyder's a good wide receiver, defensive back for us. Devin Vaness, linebacker, running back. Jacoby Baker, he's a 3-year starter at offensive tackle, defensive end. Landon Shirley, wide receiver, defensive back. Ryan Frascone, running back, linebacker. And Troy Hartleitner will be a 3-year starter at quarterback. So the good news is we have some experience. The bad news is it's all the same kids. So we have 13 seniors and we play about 14 kids. So they need to be in shape, and just like everybody else, hopefully we can stay healthy and have a great year. So I just want to wish everybody up here the best of luck, and go Mustangs.
Matt, thanks and best of luck. Before we get out of here, these guys have mentioned their athletic directors and all their staff, not only the coaching staff, but in the school. So how about a nice round of applause for what they do for all of these coaches. Very important, trust me. They have to deal with us as well, trying to set up the games and everything like that. Also, how about a nice round of applause for all these coaches, their experience, teaching these young boys to be grown men and do it the right way, as well as trying to win football games. We look forward to seeing them all on the football field this year, covering them on WHBC Radio, WHBC.com, and our TV Game of the Week. And also, last round of applause to all of you. I can say this, I've covered, as some of these other guys have said, I've covered high school football in many different counties, in a couple of different states. And believe me, the passion that you all have, as well as these coaches have, for high school football in Stark County is second to none. And I mean that from the experiences that I've had. So a nice round of applause for yourself. That's it. We're done. Thanks to everybody here. The men's club at St. Haralambos Church. Look forward to seeing you back next year and on the sidelines and in the stands. Travel home safely. Good night. All right, Sam Burke with TJ Downing, still hanging with you here on Stark Media. Don't forget Stark Media Team on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Check us out and our YouTube channel as well. I think we had 19 of the 20 coaches. We had a couple coaches that couldn't be here for some other things. So some family members stepped in, like Frank Gamble stepped in for his son tonight. We're ready for some football, big man. I mean, it's time. We've got a lot of scrimmages coming up tomorrow, a lot of scrimmages on Friday, and it's time to get things rolling because we start a lot earlier now than we used to. You get to the middle of the third week of August, you're ready to roll. So it's time, and I know we here at Stark Media are very excited about what we've got going on. And tonight was kind of like a little a kickoff before the big kickoff.
Yeah, a lot coming down the pipe for us, and there's a buzz in the air, as all these coaches kind of talked about. You get that feeling about midway through August, the buzz around the community. Got guys like Dan Michael. Hey, shout out to you, my man, for all your service to Jackson local schools, everything you've done. I know how much you meant to all those people. Horseman, hey, I'll have my coin with me.
Me too. I got my coin. Horseman.
Couple of those ham sandwiches down in the basement. Man,
Oh,
we'll be
yeah.
there all night.
That's right. That's right.
Couple beverages, but it's a great group of people in here, and the coaches, as I mentioned, they're the ones that kind of create the buzz. We're so lucky and fortunate around here to have elite level coaches, and as you see Coach Dennison and Coach Gulling coming off here, and it's a tribute to a guy like Spider, all the years that he's put in. He's
a beauty.
These coaches, it's fun to see them. It's fun to see them interact. We're fortunate being in this special area that we are, but again, that buzz right now, man, it's going on, and you feel it from the coaches all the way down to the players. And we're going to be kicking off some high school football here next week. Got a couple scrimmages coming up. Check out our boys over there, Camp McKinley Bulldogs. They're going to be taking on Ignatius on Friday night in the Jamboree. Coach Garcia, why don't you pop that headset on for us real quick, man? We always love getting a little audio from you.
Grab some.
How are you?
Good job.
There's Miss Becca.
Next time, stand up and do this to Nate. 14 minutes.
I didn't do that.
And see, and I thought you used up all his airtime last night. Pussy Willow Boulevard, man. And then I learned Tough Street over there on 44th Street.
The mean streets of 44th, right?
That's right. Yeah, man.
Coach G has joined us from the Glen Oak Golden Eagles, and here we are, man. Here we are.
It's here.
Summer's over. We got the 4th of July's out of the way, and now we got one scrimmage left, and we're going to be playing ball. How's it? I know you're trying to. I don't want to use the word retool, but maybe recapture the passion, the strength, the hunger, you know what I mean? Because you're an old school tough guy, and you're trying to spread those seeds around, aren't you?
Oh yeah. That's kind of what we've done all off season, and our kids they're starting to buy into it, and if they don't get it, we make them get it. And
Right. You're going to speak it into existence. That's right.
Today they came in, felt good about themselves, and we got about 45, 50 minutes into practice, and it wasn't going real well.
Uh-oh.
And we started over.
Yes.
And
been there before.
Right, from the stretch. And
Okay.
everybody kind of looks at me and
What's the matter with this guy? What's the matter with Coach?
Yeah, hey, you heard him up there earlier. Blow up the program, man. That's the
it.
definition right there. Practice is crap. Blow it up. Start it over.
There you go.
We did that before back in 2011 when I joined your staff. If you're not feeling the right energy, knowing that you're less than 10 days out, screw it. We're starting this thing over.
Right.
We're gonna prove a point. We're gonna set a tone the right way.
No doubt about it. Yeah. There's only one way to do it. I mean, this game's so hard, and if you don't do it that way, you're in trouble.
Yeah. As a coach, when can you tell that maybe, you know what, my guys are off the tracks today. We got to stop it and start over again. When do you sense that?
Really, right at the beginning.
Quick.
We had a lot of chatter and a lot of guys talking during stretch, and I was trying to stay patient because I really didn't want to do it because we have a scrimmage tomorrow.
Right.
And kind of kept going, and I finally blew.
Mountain Vesuvius is blown up.
Mount Garcia boiling over.
I kind of want to see that one time, but then I don't. So I don't know. So schedule tomorrow is Ursuline, right? Over at your place. This has almost been like. This has been a thing with your two schools the last several years. You've scrimmaged them, right?
Yeah, we've scrimmaged them probably. It's almost 10 years.
More than anybody over
10,
a while.
12 years. Yeah, it's a good scrimmage.
Absolutely,
There's tough kids over there and a lot of speed, and you get a lot out of it.
Yeah. So, what did you learn about maybe yourself last year? What did you learn about how things have changed over the years, and maybe what's a couple of the early goals that you've met for your guys, but your staff and yourself?
Yeah, having those couple of years off, I was able to kind of just step back and see what other people do. As a coach, you never get the chance to do that, to go to other people's practices, go to some college practices, college games. That's all I did for 2 years. And, you're able to kind of reflect on things that you did, maybe things you wanted to improve on, and then got a chance to do it again. So it's been really cool.
Your lovely wife is here. Anniversary coming up. You can't use this anymore as the dinner out. So what do you guys have planned?
I don't know yet.
Oh,
yeah, we haven't seen Top Gun yet.
Oh,
yeah.
Go.
Yeah,
Now's
go
a good time to go because most everybody's seen it. You won't have to fight to get a seat and everything.
Right.
You'll love it.
Usually when I go to the movies, it's like a $15 nap. So hopefully I don't do that.
You want to run up there and start drawing X's and O's, and there's a seal here and a seal there, and you run up them. Yeah, I could see that. My goodness. Scott Garcia joining us to the Glen Oak Golden Eagles. Sam and TJ here, Stark Media here on the Stark Media YouTube channel. Schedule-wise, what is your philosophy before you get into the league? I think you get 3 cracks now, non-conference games. How do you like to work that now, maybe as opposed to before?
Really, it's always had the same philosophy. I want to play the best.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to play Sating Nations, Massillon, and Fitch right in a row. So we got Shaker Heights, who's a tough program, got a lot of athletes, but then you go right into Massillon and Fitch, and then into the Federal League. So we played the Canadian and played some teams from Washington D.C.
Yeah.
It gets boring.
Yeah.
It's not good for anybody. It's not good for them. It's not good for us. So play the best, see what happens, and it's a lot of it prepares you for our league. Playing those guys.
Were those practice weeks got to be tough going against those out of the country or out of the state teams? I mean, because when you play a Massillon, you know what you see a Fitch, you know what you're going to get. You see another. I bet those weeks of practice are challenging, right?
They really are. And like you said, you don't know what you're going to get. You play the Canadians, and they're allowed to, 20-year-olds come off to get off the bus smoking cigarettes.
Have the replacements.
Wait, is that Bishop Sycamore or the Canadians?
Oh boy. We've asked a lot of coaches this. We'll ask you as well. As a head coach, would you prefer 5 offensive linemen returning or returning skilled kids, including your QB?
5 offensive linemen. No question.
It's been all across the board all night.
Down.
Yeah.
There's so much that you can do with an experienced line to get them to understand, blocking schemes and how to pick up, especially nowadays. Everybody's in a different defense, all the wild ass 3-3 stacks and all the different
4-2-5, 3-5, yeah.
And to have that experienced line to be able to pick those things up, that's important.
Yeah. What do you love most about doing what you do? You had a couple years to step away and kind of exhale a little bit. What do you love most about what you do?
Just being around the kids, being around the coaches, getting to know your coaching staff and their families, and getting to know your kids and their families. It's really cool, and every once in a while, like today, you blow up at practice and about a half hour goes by and you realize, man, you're doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
You're out here, you're 53 years old and you're playing a game still.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see, and it's cool to watch kids grow. And then when the kids come back and they're successful, have successful marriages and jobs and having kids and they're good fathers, that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, speak for my partner here, TJ, a guy that comes back to the program. I imagine he does talks. He checks in on practice. Of course, we're going to be doing games and everything. But what does that mean to you, and how important is that to you to have previous Glen Oak Golden Eagle guys come back? I don't care if they were starters, if they were on the scout team, part of something. How important is that to you to build that up?
Oh, there's no question. To have kids come back, and just like I just mentioned, with the kids that TJ, for example, has gone on to have a successful, not only football career, but he's done a lot of other things, starting your company here and watching kids grow like that. It's amazing to see, and to have them pass that on and pass their knowledge and experiences on to our kids. That's what it's all about.
Awesome.
We got Phil Morrow joining us now.
Wow. My man. How are you, Coach?
Oh, I'm great.
Can we talk some old Federal League Jackson Glen Oak battles?
Oh my gosh, those are amazing.
I had gotten a chance. I can't remember who it was I was talking to, but we were talking about our junior season and when we were playing you guys inside of Fawcett Stadium, and it came down to a field goal.
Yep.
And I want to say it was probably about a 38-yarder or so. And Evan Moxie and I had gone on both sides of the snapper, and I got through and I blocked it. And here comes the flag from the official.
Right. Oh, I heard this story.
Right. And you guys got a chance.
I'm not sure if in all these years I've ever seen that called ever again.
And our snapper was like 140 pounds.
Yeah. And they lined up and they made it the next time. And I think at that point, that put us at 8-2. And we had lost both those games by a combined 3 points. The week before, we lost to Hoover by a point. We lost to you guys by 2 points. And that would have been, I don't know how many undefeated regular seasons we've had in Glen Oak history, but that would have put us right there. But we had so much fun competing against you guys. You were one of my coaches in the Big 33 game. Fun going over there to Hershey, even though we got our butts kicked in that game. But
it was a tough one, but what an experience, though. That was awesome.
Glad to have you back, man. Stark County, right where you belong.
Oh, I'm telling you, like I said, things like this, dinners like tonight, WHBC banquets, all those things, they don't exist in other counties in Ohio. Because I've been in a bunch of them in all different parts of the state. And I forgot how much I missed it. And it's just so good to be back and just like home.
So we've all followed you since you left Stark County. You went to Lancaster, and take us through the rest and then how this came about that you're back here in the 330 again.
Right. Well, I really want to get back into the area. My oldest son's living in Bay Village. Just had a young son, he's going to have another one. And we really wanted to get back. It's where all the people we knew, the 12 years we spent at Jackson, developed a lot of relationships and such. And so, I was real fortunate. I got with Steve Miller, and, what a great guy. And, we just connected and, just worked out. So, it's great to be back for sure. See these guys like Scott and, all the coaches tonight and both of you guys. I mean, like I said, it's just like being back home.
Well, and how cool is it for you to see Jay, who you coached, how special a player he was, now running the program.
Oh yeah, I'm so proud of him, and he's always been such a great young man. Also, not just a football player, and he's going to do a tremendous job there without a doubt. And yeah, I'm so proud of him, but I'm proud of guys like AJ Sarbaugh and Antonio got to coach against him, and Zach Slates and Brian Gamble, and and like I said, Stark County football is in great shape. We got some great young coaches. Troy Burek got to coach him at Mass. I mean, so it's really awesome.
I told Mark Geis the other night. I said, I think I missed my calling, man. I said I'm supposed to come back here and coach.
Yeah.
So at least I can put the headset
Not
on.
now. You got this started. You can't do that now.
Right.
I'll get it up and running for you, partner, and then it's all yours.
You don't want me in charge yet. Maybe 5 years down the road or so. What did you guys most like about competing against each other, Glen Oak, Jackson, but all the other teams in the Federal League? And then, if you're fortunate to get into the postseason and maybe one of the two of the teams got knocked out, you still kind of got behind because that's what we do here.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that is this way? You guys have been around a different place.
Right.
It's not that way everywhere else. Why is it like that here?
Well, I think there's a real respect, number one. I think we respect each other quite a bit. And I think we respect the communities. There's just such great community support. And, I just think with the Hall of Fame here and being in Canton and just everything, it's just, I guess we respect the game also. I think that's a big part of it, Scott.
When I was a young coach, just having the, guys like Phil and Jack Rose and Tom McDaniels and Keith Wakefield and all those guys, to look up to those guys and see what they did with their programs and be able to follow that, it's not only a young kid and then growing into the coaching ranks and all the connections that you have with all those different guys. Jack and Tom coached with me for a couple of years. TJ was on the staff then. And just to be connected to guys like that, it's really cool.
Yeah, and I know a lot of things have changed over the years. A lot of things in the world, a lot of things have changed. But there's the one constant we've always been able to kind of hang our helmet on here has been the Stark County football scene. And no matter if it's the coaches, the kids, the parents, the grandparents, the alum, the community leaders, there's just, and thank God it's been passed down because in some areas it's like how we have it now, but they don't keep that forever. They lose touch with it and it goes away. It stands the test of time here. And that's also really cool.
Well, I think, like Scott said, you have Stark County players coming back in through as coaches and head coaches. So, keep that continuity, keep that tradition, keep that, bond alive.
There's a lot of guys that come in that don't get it.
Oh, I know.
And we've seen it.
And they don't last long.
No, they don't. That's why it's awesome to see Antonio, just like you just mentioned with Jay and Slates over at Perry. Those guys get it.
They get it.
You understand it when you went through it. When you had a coach like you that was barking down at you during the 2-a-days and saying, "Hey, listen, you're playing in a special area. You better respect it." And I think that's why you see a lot of those guys that have come back here and done that.
Right.
I mean, a long time ago, you were down there in the trenches for the Glen Oak Golden Eagles, man, playing for Bob Cummings. I mean, you know what it's all about. And talk about not a whole lot of more people that are more Stark County football than a guy like Bob Cummings.
Right.
Oh, I remember when they had his memorial over. They'd have it in the gym in Massillon.
Yeah.
Just to be able to handle it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was wild.
Right.
Before we let you guys go, and I know the summer is what it is. It's summer. Well, it's gone. What's the best thing, the most fun you guys had during the summer? What was it?
Just getting away, went down to the beach.
Okay.
And just hung out and relaxed a little bit, and it went quick.
Right.
Well, my middle son got married this summer out in Albuquerque, and that was my last class at Jackson. So 5 of the guys that were in the party played for me. Rob Rillen, who went to Miami, and Ben Grave, who played at Harvard. And
oh, my gosh.
Jeff Cochran, who got his PhD from University of Penn in physics, and Tony. So there were about 5 or 6 ex-players were in the wedding party. So that was amazing. That was a lot of fun.
little tip: if you ever go out to New Mexico, the world's biggest hot air balloon festival.
Yes. Yeah,
So check that out if you're into that.
Yeah,
That's good
you
stuff.
see the signs and everything.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It's a big deal.
I got into the wrong things when I was in Albuquerque. It was fun, but it wasn't hot air balloons. I'll tell you that much.
Absolute shocker there.
The Bugs Bunny cartoon. He always took the wrong turn there.
Yeah, right. You just waited for one time to make the right damn turn, and it never happened. It never happened. Well, guys, thanks for coming over. Coach G, always good to see you.
Great to see you
Coach
guys.
Phil,
You too,
man, it's
Sam.
good to see you and have
Thanks,
you back
buddy.
in Stark
Thank you.
County.
Appreciate
And
you
we're
guys.
looking forward to watching the Dukes and the Eagles get after it this year. And man, I can't wait to get going.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's here. It's upon us, and we appreciate all the coaches that took time out to join us here, and St. Haralambos for what they put on, what they've done for years here, and to be able to get all these coaches under one roof, to hear about their teams, to get us excited, to get our fans excited, everybody around the area. You know, we're excited to punch out some heavy duty high school football coming up next week on iHeartMedia, 99.7 FM, 106.9 FM. Doing some big things, and obviously what we got going on at Stark Media, you know. So we've put some partnerships together in the community, and we're ready to rock and roll, man.
All right, here you go. At Stark Media Team, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our Stark Media YouTube page. Check it out, follow it, share it, like it, comment on it. Love it. Make it a part of your life. We want to be a part of yours every day. We got some great big things planned for you, and I've been working on this for a little while, TJ, and some terrific guys like JP Simon, and we got a great crew at Stark Media. You'll be meeting everybody, and this is a great opportunity for I don't know, things change in the world, and media changes and the way you consume things, and it's not just going to be games. It's not just going to be talk shows. It's not just going to be docuseries. It's not going to just be films. It's going to be all of that and more. And we're going to try to splice it up in a little bit different way for you so you can consume it and enjoy it. And obviously, we want you to support the partners that are supporting us, and that will make a smooth transition to hopefully a long time of us being a part of your life, and vice versa here on Stark Media. So with that being said, I'm going to give the big offensive lineman a chance to say his final words and good night, because we've got stuff to take care of when we get home.
Can we get a little view of that there?
What's gone?
Oh,
hold on. We told you we're going to.
I know we got a little chicken in there.
That's it. I pretty much took care of that.
Oh, man. Well, hey, appreciate you coming out here tonight, partner, and us getting everything rolling here as we're about a week out. So always want to thank all of our partners, our great partners over at Spirit of Stark. Check them out at 409 Erie Street North, next to the Massillon Rec Center. Kind of a little bit of a shakeup there with our partners. We got the Tiger Store and Simon Says Promotions. They are now our neighbors over at 59 Lincoln Way East. So you can catch them featuring that Tiger Store in downtown Massillon. Right next to us at Stark Media, we have another business that'll be coming in there, more of a wellness center. You're going to be able to feature hyperbaric chambers, red light therapy. So really between suite A, B, and C, we kind of got
covered.
Who did we talk to about the triangle there? Mr. Gamble, Mr. Frank Gamble. He's got the triangle there. We're going 59 East Lincoln Way. That's our triangle. Shout out to everybody at St. Haralambos Greek Orthodox Church and the Crassus Center here, the event center, holding it down. Great food, great drinks, great people, great time. Kishman's Fresh Market, Minerva, and now Malvern. Check in with them while you're down there. Great selection of meats and foods and everything you need over there at Kishman's, and then C.H. Vallis and Associates. Can't get it done without them. Located at 1302 South Main Street. We lost our buddy Chris here tonight. He left a little bit early. We want to give a special shout out. He lost his mom recently, and her birthday would have been yesterday. So they had a little special thing going on with their family. We want to let them know that our thoughts and prayers are always with them. Stella Vallis, just an absolute iconic mother when you talk about all the things she did for her family, for her husband, for her children, for her grandkids. She was it, man. So we want to let them know over there at C.H. Vallis and Associates that our thoughts and prayers are with them, because as you mentioned, Sam, they've been a staple in the North Canton community for over 75 years. And just know that for any of your home, life, and auto insurance needs, contact them at 494-2776 or go see them over at 1302 South Main Street. So more from C.H. Vallis and them coming down the line as we get into football season, and spitballing with Sammy B and all of our podcasts that we'll have coming down the line. So appreciate everybody riding alongside us here tonight on the YouTube channel, Stark Media Team. Check us out, as Sam mentioned, on all of our different social media platforms. Website getting ready to launch as school season school year 2022-23 opens up, and we'll be off and running. So till then, till next week, high school football. We'll be out at some scrimmages here over the next couple days.
Yeah.
And then boom, here we go. Next Thursday, light it up.
Light it up.
All right. So long, everyone.